Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical, and this is based off of the Tony and Olivier award-winning musical that has been adapted by, you guessed it, Roald Dahl's classic children's novel, Matilda. And I was a huge fan of the book. Growing up, I've been a huge Roald Dahl fan for most of my life, and I am a fan of the original film from the 90s from director Danny DeVito. And this film is, you know, a musical version. And I guess the biggest thing to tackle first would be that there are some banging musical numbers in this film that get you up and make you want to dance and really get involved. And they help elevate a lot of the emotional and impactful moments throughout this film. And I have to say, the choreography, the dancing, is off the charts. There's a final musical number towards the end of the film that it was mind-blowing. All these little kids at this school doing these incredible stunts and everything, doing all these dances. I'm like, holy crap. Completely blew me away. I thought it was extremely impressive. So I think the musical elements here really work. You have musical numbers like during the cake eating scene, which is one of the most iconic scenes in the book, in the movie. And that brings a vibrant and impressive just jolt of energy to that scene. And it really works. I think the magical elements as this young girl, Matilda, who is in a bad home, at a bad school, and really only has one nice little role model, Miss Honey, one of her teachers, and well, I guess the woman that runs this little book truck as well, but who Matilda continues to tell a story that she's coming up with. But Matilda has these little psychic powers, and they're a lot of fun and exciting to see put into use in this film, and I think it's really effective. The only element that I really feel like this film is lacking in is that it kind of loses some of the edge of the book. Roald Dahl was always dark, real dark, and I feel like this film does tackle some of those darker elements of the story, but not completely. It always feels a little watered down when they're trying to translate this to screen, probably thinking kids can't handle that. Roald Dahl knew they could. They can. So give it to us. But besides that, this film is an absolute blast. I think it's a really strong adaptation of the story. It captures the spirit of it, and the elements of her being a storyteller and loving her books just feel endearing and important as she's developing her perspective on the world. We have Alicia Weir, who plays Matilda, who's absolutely fantastic. She's extremely charismatic and carries a lot of this film impressively. Good for her. She is really impressive in this film. You have Lashana Lynch, who plays Miss Honey, which this is such a different performance from her that I've seen her from the likes of The Woman King and No Time to Die and Captain Marvel, but she really stands out. And there's one particular scene where she has a musical number that's deeply emotional. She shows plenty of range as an actor in that scene, and I was pretty blown away by it. But of course, you have to talk about the Trunchbull, who I think is incredibly well adapted in this film, really capturing the danger, the tension, and the fear surrounding this horrible entity. And Emma Thompson is fantastic. It's Emma Thompson. She's one of the greatest actresses out there, and under all that makeup and all that done up to make her look like the Trunchbull, she delivers such an energetic and intense performance, the way she could just stare and sell a scene. And then, of course, a little nice shout out to Stephen Graham and Andrew Riseborough as Mr. and Mrs. Wormwood, Matilda's parents, who are just scummy and terrible as possible, and they just sell it. Stephen Graham's obnoxiously white teeth on top of it are just A-plus little details for a character. But this is a wonderful and whimsical and quirky and weird adaptation of a whimsical, weird, and dark little story by Roald Dahl, they might miss a little bit of the darkness that could have still been there. But overall, I think this is a wonderful little adaptation. And go check this out over there on Netflix. But those are my thoughts on Roald Dahl's Matilda the Musical. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.